Hello and welcome to the Passion Witch Project. I'm your host, Emily Steckel, a Reiki practitioner, a pharmacist, and Passion Witch. And on this show, we chat with folks who are leaning into what makes them beautifully weird and living their passion. And today, we are so fortunate to be joined by a sister witch, Kit DeFronzo. Welcome, Kit.
Hi.
I think, Kit, you are the first guest that I've had who embraces that word.
Sweet.
Like I do.
Yeah.
So it's super nice. I mean, I hope that over the course of our chat we can kind of talk about what that word means to you.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do, I'd like to start by asking, if you could be the best in the world at one thing, what would it be? And I'll say, you don't have to have an answer.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to change your mind.
So it's a tough question. I like to be a part of, or like I like to build every single piece of me all together. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm a tarot reader, but I'm also an artist, but I'm also an educator. So I know that there's like so many like different facets to who I am. Yeah. So like I don't want to ever choose just one. I want to find a way that we can all come together and be one big beautiful thing.
That's juicy.
Yeah.
Like the perhaps the best at like embracing your multitudes.
Exactly, because we're not one-dimensional beings. Like we all have different facets. And as much as I would love to be just a tarot reader, it's impossible. You can't just do one, you can't work out just one muscle. You have to work out the whole piece. So
yeah. And we know what happens when we work out just one muscle. We get a little bit lopsided, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like thinking about it in terms of body, mind, heart, and soul, right?
Exactly.
We're a little of it all. Mm-hmm. To go all in on one thing is like to deprive ourselves, I think, of some fun, exciting things.
1000%, definitely. Yeah. So it's good to do the whole piece, not just the part. Yeah.
Well, so I'll start by asking a little bit more about your tarot practice because that's how I met you. So we were, I'd wandered into the Sister Witch Company in Hooksett, New Hampshire, which is very cute. Highly recommend checking it out. And certainly the reason that I was called there was to meet you that day. It felt fated.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And you shared your amazing gift at tarot reading, and I think the things that I felt with you, you had such confidence in your practice, and I'm a little bit newer at reading tarot. It's a witchy gift that's in progress, in development.
It should be.
But you had such a lovely container with your confidence, and it was never. I so appreciate when folks are not rigid about the reading. They're like not like this is what's going to happen or this is. It's very much. We're entering a dialogue here. Like you have this expertise and you have this kind of safe boundary, but it's also still free within it.
Yeah, no, exactly. For me, as a tarot reader, my goal for every one of my clients is to help them reach their highest path of growth. And with that, there's no space allowed for rigidity. Yeah. So it's very... it's hard when you work with an energy with tarot readers when there is a box that they're trying to put you in when you don't necessarily fit into that box. So, I mean, tarot for me as a practice started, I remember I was in the very first time I've ever like seen a tarot deck. I was in Paris and my friend at the time brought a deck of cards with her onto the tour bus. And we were just shuffling in between like going from one location to the next. And the draw and pull that I felt from just that one deck alone is something that I can never forget, and nor will I ever like reach that draw again because it's never as good as the first time, right? You know, but I just remember that mystical pull of just like that unknown energy, but it's there. You can never put your finger on it, but it's there. And so then after that, I kind of forgot about it for a little. I bought myself a deck at Mill Number 5 in Lowell, but the deck didn't come with an instruction manual. So, and it was an artist deck. So like there was so many different interpretations. So then I put that deck away, and then I didn't pull it out until October of 2023, and that's where I just dove right in head first, and just hasn't been the same. That was really truly the start of my shadow work journey, and it's been a tool that I've always clicked with, that's helped me kind of check back in with myself. And then also give others the opportunity to have them kind of yell at me a little bit. One of the things I like to say as a tarot reader is people pay me to yell at them in the nicest way possible. Yes, but it's kind of like
with such compassion.
It's exactly. It's coming from love. It's never coming from anger. Absolutely. It's more so of kind of like a, hello, what are we doing? You know the answer, so why are you ignoring it? Mm-hmm. It's more so kind of, how can I put up that mirror for you in a safe way? In a comfortable way.
I have so many follow-ups, but the first one, for viewers who may not be familiar with the term shadow work, I would love to hear a little bit more about what that means to you. It's something I think that is just so empowering as we embrace that work.
Yeah. So shadow work is, I mean, not necessarily the scariest of them all, but it's the juiciest. It's where you get deep down into, I mean, shadow talks about all the spots that we hide ourselves from, all the spaces where ego decides its turn to protect, and its turn to be the loudest voice, when in reality, ego isn't what should be driving us. Like I said before, it should be the amalgamation of us all together that's moving us forward, not just one piece. And so shadow work likes to put a spotlight on exactly the spaces where ego has been standing strong and hard for a very, very long time. And in that shadow work, that's when you tend to meet your inner child who's cowering in a corner. You tend to meet your inner teenager who's also screaming in a rage in like the bathroom mirror, like, what's going on with me? So it's an opportunity for you to meet yourself in spaces where you normally hide. And so it's like I said, it's not the most painful. It can be painful, and it's the hardest work, but it's also the most rewarding. And that's what, like I said, drew me onto this journey. It's the most growth, definitely.
It's like homecoming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like to think of it as like reclaiming parts of ourselves that we lost along the way.
Oh, it 1000% is. And giving them a new name, and then also giving them a platform to express themselves in ways that they've never been able to. Yeah. In my shadow work journey, I met both my inner child and my inner teenager, and I'm constantly walking with them kind of both on my shoulders, watching and saying, like, and I'm showing them, like, hey, we're safe now. It's okay to be you. Live your life. Do what you want. No
be
one's
beautifully weird.
Exactly.
Like, it's amazing. We get to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I totally hear that.
Yeah.
And then I suppose, like, it might be worth just kind of fleshing out what tarot is, like what a tarot deck includes. And yes, we have props, which is amazing.
I brought my own tarot deck. And so, I mean, one of the most important things with tarot, the biggest takeaway is that the way that I use it is going to be different. The way that you use it is going to be different than the way that everyone else uses it.
It's like Reiki, like energy healing. It's funneled through our own unique lived experience, our own gifts.
Exactly. So this deck I actually just recently got. I mean, one thing I'm going to say probably a couple of times is that tarot is all based off of energy. Every deck of cards that I've been drawn to has been like that energetic pull. It's not like, oh, that's so pretty. No, it's, I mean, this one is gorgeous, but it's black and white. You know, it's just basic tarot deck, right? But every tarot deck consists of, well, not every, that's tricky.
Many
consist of 78 cards. There's two different pieces of that deck, right? There's the minor arcana and then there's the major arcana. The minor arcana includes the 4 suits, just like a regular deck of playing cards, because tarot originally did come from playing cards. That's where the meanings started to come from, and then people included the illustrations. For those of you who are familiar with tarot, Rider-Waite-Smith is a very, very popular deck, and that's where a majority of the traditional illustrations that we see come from. As I was saying, minor arcana, 4 suits, sorry. There's the swords. Where should I?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
So we have an example of the swords. So we have the 7 of Swords. And then Pentacles is the next one, followed by, we have Wands as well, and Cups as well. So each of those 4 suits breaks it up into 4 different elements. It's also tied to the zodiac signs as well. So take Wands, for example. That's your fire signs. That's your element. That's like your passion, action, action, creativity, spark, right? That talks about the fire signs as well, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Yeah, same here. So you break them down that way, right? Cups talks about our inner emotions. It's those water signs. Earth is pentacles, talks about finance, abundance, money, what you can touch. It's also physical world too. So it's not something that you feel so much in your body, but it's something that you can see a reflection of, which is really cool. And then the last one, swords, that's the air. So it's the air signs, how we speak, the words that we're using and everything. And then the major arcana, that's kind of like your overarching storyline. So that starts at the Fool and it goes all the way to the World. And that's where those heavy hitters like Death, Tower, the Devil, the cards that people are so afraid of. But in reality, that's just another version of our shadow, right? The Moon is representative of our shadow too. That is like the shadow work card. So if that keeps coming up from you, the call is coming from inside the house.
I love that. That's such a nice way to put it.
Yeah, so that's like the basic mechanics of a tarot deck. If you get like a different artist one, sometimes they'll throw like extra cards in there. It's just really important that when you get a tarot deck, first of all, make sure you connect with it energetically. And then the second thing is, don't be afraid to use the instruction manual that comes with it.
For sure.
Because that's also tied to the illustrations and the connections that you get. Like I said, tarot is different for each reader, so each reader is also going to pull different meanings. And you'll connect to different meanings throughout your life, even if it's the same card over and over again.
And you build relationships with each of those cards, right? You build a series of memories.
And it's funny, you can track it.
Yeah.
Like you said, how each card is showing up differently, or how the same card is showing up differently in your life, talking about the same thing, just in a different font.
yes, that's a nice way to put it. Oh, I love that. Interesting. Huh.
Lots of information.
Do you want to pull a card?
Yeah,
So I should ask you. So I think, different people have radically different ways in how they use tarot. And I think one of the beautiful things about it is if you're not drawn to it energetically or spiritually, I think one of the great things about tarot is that it can also be a lovely intellectual process.
Yes.
Like sometimes I like pulling a card and just asking the question, what have I not considered in this situation? And you know what? I'm going to pull another take on the situation than I would have had otherwise because we have one lens, right, through which to view the world. But tarot can help us think about things in a different way. So that's why I think if you're not necessarily feeling like a spiritual calling to this, like you can still have fun with it in so many other ways.
Yeah, like I said, like there's so many different ways to connect with it. If you want to do it academically, like you were speaking of, if that's the best way that works for you, so be it. Whatever it is, stick to it and just trust that gut feeling and trust that you know what's best for you, no matter what anyone else says, no matter what all the books say.
That's right.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It matters to you, right? At the end of the day.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, sweet. Oh! All right. So, a lot of tarot readers have a certain kind of structure for the way that they shuffle. I do as well. A lot of traditional witches will probably be cringing at the way that I'm shuffling my cards right now.
You find the way that works for you.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that's, and I think one of the beautiful things is once you find a way that you feel connected to, once you feel confident in your process, it just drops the energy needed to step into that same trust as you move forward, right? So it's, when you find it, what works,
stick with it.
Don't
change
it.
it.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And if it is broke, try another way, right? Ooh, okay, Kit. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Perfect. Ooh, yes.
Lovely energy. This is gorgeous. This is exactly what we want. So this is the Fool. This is what I was talking about before with the first card of the major arcana. So when we're talking about that Fool energy, it's literally saying jump and the net will catch you.
That's it.
Even if your eyes are closed, even if there's a fog of smoke or a screen of smoke in front of you and you can't see over that edge, jump. It's about that blind trust. It's about that understanding that even if, in this card, there's a little doggy. I don't know if you can tell. He's kind of pulling his owner saying, stop, that's a cliff. But yet he's still in motion moving forward because he knows what's best for him. He says, thank you for the protection, but I think I got it from here on out, So it's just truly about that. Jump and you'll be caught, no matter what. And that's, I mean, that's the beauty of like this spiritual work, is like that blind trust. That's what it all comes back to at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
How do you feel you've fostered that sense of faith, that sense of trust? This is a big question. I don't know if I'd be able to answer it if I were put on the spot like this, but I'm feeling called to ask.
I'm still working with it daily.
Yeah.
I'm still working that muscle and growing that muscle daily. I'm never going to be perfect with it. I mean, that's one of the biggest lessons that I've had to learn in my life. Because I grew up in a box. I grew up very rigid. I grew up Irish Catholic, and I love my upbringing, and I am extremely grateful for it. But it taught me a way of strategically making myself small.
Yeah.
Of strategically finding the light, the darkest corner, so I could be my brightest self. You know what I mean? So it's, in my life growing up, I had to learn to make space for others and kind of leave my space alone and not worry about it. So in my adult years now, it's constantly in front of my face. It's constantly like, okay, how can you be your biggest self unapologetically? How can you be fully authentic? Because at the end of the day, that's the strongest thing. It's the strongest thing that you can do for yourself, is fall into that authenticity. So will I ever be perfect at it? No. But I mean, I even like struggled with it over this past weekend. It was a real hard weekend for me, but you just pull your pants up and you say, okay, I'm a big girl now. Let's go.
Was that because of Thanksgiving and seeing people?
Yeah, I mean, it's just lots of things, you know?
Yeah.
I love my family, but do they love to stir things up?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I wonder if you find this. I find sometimes I psych myself out about entering situations so much more than what's actually delivered in the moment. It's like
it's anxiety, girl. That's anxiety.
Anxiety. For sure. I'm like, I'm gonna be like, people are gonna think I'm weird and bad and then it's like, oh, if you just love people generally, they'll love you back.
No,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, and I mean, that's like what that full energy is talking about, is doing it even though you're shit scared. Whoopsies, sorry. Doing it even though like you're absolutely terrified. Yeah. It's just jumping for the sake of you and your own authenticity and saying, screw this. I don't care what anyone else says. I know me. And that's what the best you can do for yourself. It's just,
What have been some of the most impactful moments in your life when you have done that, when you have taken a leap into the unknown because you knew that's what you had to do to share your light?
So I was a teacher. I used to teach. And I taught for 3 years. My first year of teaching was COVID. So that painted it beautifully for the rest of the 3 years. And I had to take a break. I had to throw it away, including my college education, and I just needed to start fresh. So I jumped. I went into the restaurant industry. It was lovely. It was great. That's also where I started reading tarot, right? And then another opportunity for education came up, so I said, you know what? Let's try it. Let's see. It was one of the worst job experiences that I've had, to the point where I was apologizing for myself in ways that I shouldn't have been. And so that second jump from education was one that was completely unplanned. I had no backup. I had nothing. And I just knew that me going back into that workspace was the most unhealthy choice that I could have made for myself. So on a Wednesday in the middle of summer, I said, I'm sorry, I can't do this. And then Mary from Sister Witch reached out to me that Friday asking if I wanted to be the house reader. And so it's just one door closes and the next one will immediately open, but it won't open unless you commit to the jump. Don't just talk about it.
You
Don't
have to
just
take
say
an action
it.
step.
You have to move.
That's part of spell work, right? There has to be that that action.
Yep, you have to have that first step so that spirit can match you with the next 10. You have to. That's all you can do.
Yeah. And I think, you know, part of my journey, we have a lot of parallels, right? I was a teacher too, and then, you know, a pharmacist, which I'm still doing. But there are there are people who will look at that and say, well, gosh, you wasted a college degree, you wasted this time or this money or this whatever it is. And I think it's worth knowing that we carry it all with us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We carry it all.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you're teaching.
Exactly. At the end of the day, I'm still an educator. It is
1,000,000%.
ingrained into my system. I can't change that. But I can change the mode in which I teach. I can change the spaces in which I teach. Part of this growth and authenticity is also understanding how much control you have. And then when you have the opportunity to take control, you actually take control, right? It all keeps going back to that Fool card, but that's exactly what we're talking about.
Perfect card.
It was literally perfect because it's truly about showing up authentically, despite what others say, despite the societal norms, despite the, hey, I put a lot of work into that. Yeah, I did. But it's no longer for me. You know, I was able to learn in many different languages of being a human. So I'm going to try and flex that muscle in a little bit different way. You know?
I like also shifting the perspective that to do something like that, like I took a job and I left within 5 months. And, you know, someone might look at that and say, well, you shouldn't have done that, and that was the selfish thing to do, and la la la. And I think it's also worth remembering that when we do commit to share our light, not only did I open myself up to the experiences that would fill my cup and allow me to be authentic and to do what I feel is the best for other folks, but the space that I left, the job I left, that became open to someone who really wanted it, right? Who was going to show up their best and brightest self. So I think like we can normalize it looking like a web, right? Where, you know, I don't fit in this place anymore, but in my movement, there is room for other people to shift into what feels better for them too.
Yeah, I love that. I love that view of it because it's so hard. Like when you're so focused on your own shortcomings, all you can think about is everything, all the places where you're failing, right? But then if you flip the script and you see it through that lens, you're able to then lighten the load off your shoulders and kind of breathe again and move in a way that's not, there's no friction.
Totally.
You know?
Yes.
You're removing that friction.
Yes. We can do things with ease. We're allowed to live
God
that
forbid.
way.
God forbid it's easy. God forbid.
Like, it can be.
Yeah.
It totally can be. Sometimes that's the lesson.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, lessons comes in the funniest ways.
Right?
In the meanest ways, too, sometimes.
Is there a mean lesson that you're thinking about that happened recently, or just?
Oh, no, I'm just thinking about the way that, like, growing pains and finding yourself in the people that kind of throw things in your face a little bit, and you're just moving on to the next space.
I have a funny story.
Yes.
I was caught up in a relationship that was just like a total pain. It was full of pain. And I went on a retreat and I got back, and 2 days later I had a vicious stomach bug. It was like every half hour I was running to the bathroom, both ends, miserable experience. And I had this moment where I was lying on the floor and I was like, I choose pleasure. I don't want it to be painful anymore.
Yep.
But sometimes
that's
what it takes.
That's what it takes. That's
Sometimes
literally.
it's mean.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly, yes. It's the horrible, horrendous purge to feel the light at the end of the rainbow again. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just gotta get it the heck out of you so that you can move forward with that clear mind and that clear mentality. Yeah. No.
I'd say throughout this whole conversation, we've been talking about what it means to be a witch.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd agree, but like, if there, like, is there anything that you want to add, like what it means for you personally to embody that word?
There's so many different definitions, and there's so many different ways that you can access that power. You can do it through spell work. You can do it through tarot cards. You can do it through mediumship. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But for me, it's really just truly has been a journey of growth, a journey of letting myself breathe in a way that I need to, not in the way that others think I should. So it's been about creating space for me in the way that I see fit, period. So that's what it means for me to be a witch. And whatever self-growth comes from that, I love it. I'm ready for it.
I love that. I'm curious too, I've had this conversation with other folks. Do you feel that you are born a witch? Or do you feel like if it's something that you want to be, you can embody, you can step into, regardless of who you are?
There are yes to both.
Right.
Yes to both. Yes to both. There's levels to it. There's so many levels. Like I said, with that mediumship, sometimes you're just born with that innate connection. For me, I mean, you did a Reiki practice and you brought up that I'm a seer, and like ever since then I've realized like, oh shit, you know what? I actually am. And I've been seeing things for a lot longer than I've realized. So I do believe it's something that I have, myself, have been born with. Whereas with others, I do believe it's also a journey that you can kind of morph into however large or small you need that practice to be. If you want to do abundance spell work for you to help get that extra little cushion, do it. If that's what you connect with, so be it. That's all it is. It's just turning your gut up, just turning that volume up so that you can trust it and not think twice about everything.
I love that.
You know?
Beautifully said,
Yeah.
Kit.
Thank you.
Girl, yes. Kit is magic. And I highly recommend, if you are curious about tarot, if you're curious about what it means to be a witch, if you are curious about any of this, find her. How can someone find you?
So I'm on Instagram under ArtKit Tarot, ARTKIT Tarot. I'm also at the Sister Witch Company in Hooksett, New Hampshire. I'm there mainly Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. I try very hard to post on Instagram, but we all know how that is.
Yes.
Yeah, but check me out there. And if not, you can email me. It's just kitdefronzo@gmail.com, and we can share it somehow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. Kit, I'm so grateful for you coming on the show.
Yeah.
It's such a privilege to be in your energy and to like have these conversations that I think are just so valuable in shifting us and moving us forward and bringing more love.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And self-acceptance and all the good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me. It was so lovely.
Thank you, Kit.
So lovely.
Until next time, Brent.
Sounds good.
We look forward to seeing you next time on the Passion Witch Project.